nailing it.
We are nailing it. Sorry. Yes, the chat should be working now. I apologize if folks are trying to ask questions. The chat is working now. So, but anyway, Mitch, now that we are back and up and running, will you please introduce yourself again?
My name is Mitch Chvala. I am the automation carp for Les Mis.
Yes, and Mitch started in a different capacity with the show.
The stage left deck carpenter.
There we go. So what is your, like, I'm going to ask questions because I'm sure there will be folks that will join that'll ask questions, but I'm going to ask questions. What does your day-to-day look like as like an automation tech?
As an automation, for a normal show run, I'll show up an hour before half hour, come in and start the system up, and then me and the carpenters on stage will run all of the automated effects to make sure everything's working, nothing is weird or broken from last night. And then, so we'll start with the towers, close the towers, then we'll do the sliders, and then all the floor checkout stuff. So all the deck tracks.
Awesome. So like, but you don't pull the barricade out and like reset that. You just look at the tracking in the deck that's in the deck.
Yeah, there's a little metal piece that we call dogs that our flyman has all fun nicknames for.
Awesome.
And those little dogs help move the scenery around on stage.
Great. So you can just put that in and then see if that moves.
Yes.
Awesome. And then how many, so if you come and see the show, and if you're sitting further up in one of the mezzanines of balcony, you can actually look and down, and you can see that there is tracks in the stage. So how many actual lines or like tracks, I guess, do we have for automation in the show? So
we have a total of 18 automated effects in our show.
Okay.
But on stage we have 3, 6, 7.
Okay, bye.
Bye, Amanda.
7 floor tracks to help move scenery around.
7 floor tracks. That's awesome. And then so now let's go back. How did you get started in this industry?
Somebody came to my high school and said, you want to work on cruise ships? And I said, yeah, that sounds great. And then I joined they put me through a 1,500 hours apprenticeship program through the Omaha Community Playhouse. So I got college course credit for that and met great contacts and started my foot in the door there.
So did you work on tours that would come through Omaha? Or
no, we mostly worked at the community playhouse, so we built the set there. And then once I got out of that, they had a professional touring wing called the Nebraska Theater Caravan that did A Christmas Carol. So we would tour around for 1 month out of the year.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So then, so give me what's your resume like? So you went and you did cruise ships, yes?
Nope,
no,
never
you
worked
didn't. You never did cruise ships. Very good.
So we're
very good.
That one. After I got out of the community playhouse and that tour, I worked for a lighting shop in Omaha called Theatrical Media Services.
Mm-hmm.
Toured around with Christian bands and rock bands, Third Day being one of them.
Great.
Bob Dylan being another, 10th Avenue North. So toured with them and did state fairs, county fairs.
Yeah.
And then...
That's a beast.
Yes.
That's a beast.
Yes. Wind, elements, rain, sun or shine.
All the things, yeah.
And then after that, I got a call from my friend who said they were looking for a flyman on Beauty and the Beast back in 2014.
Wow, okay.
And a flyman is the guy that controls all of the drops that come in and out.
Right. And so that's where you started. And then after Beauty and the Beast, where'd you go to?
I went internationally to International Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
And toured through, I want to say it was 12 different countries.
Wow.
Yes.
All right, so you've seen parts of the world.
Mostly Asia.
All right. It's my favorite, one of my favorite parts of the world.
Yes.
And then after Beauty and the Beast, you did the international tour, and then what was that? What was next?
I came back and did Elf.
Elf.
The musical.
Okay. Yep.
That was my first official head carp.
Okay.
So to see, it was a 2-month run. So it was tip your toes, see if you like it.
Yeah.
You just have to last 2 months.
And and how many cities did you have to do?
It was 25 in 2 months. We ended 2 weeks in Costa Mesa, so that was the hold on.
25 cities?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we call a bus and truck. That is what we call a one-nighter, all right? That is intense.
Mm-hmm.
So that's was it all drops?
Mostly props
Some-
and drops, some scenery.
Some technical stuff, like
Yep.
some like hard.
Yep.
Wow.
So yeah, we would typically start our day at 6 a.m., run all the way up until showtime, do the show, and load out for 3 to 4 hours. Get on a bus, do it all over again.
Jeez, that's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay, so then you did Elf, and then what happened?
Elf, and then I went over to my first equity tour of Dirty Dancing
Okay.
back in 2015.
Okay.
And I was a flyman there, and then I moved up to become a head carp of that show as well.
Wow. All
Yes.
right. And how did you find yourself at Les Mis?
So I actually got a call from networks that we work for,
Yep.
and they were looking for people for the show, and they said, "Hey, you've been with us forever." They knew me from all those shows, Phantom of the Opera,
Yeah.
Prom, and now I had an opening, and they said, "Yeah, we want you."
And here we are.
Here we are.
And here we are.
History's made.
That's incredible.
Yes.
That's awesome. So that's Mitch's resume right there. Do you need to interact with the production department? How that goes?
For big big changes that
Come in.
come in.
Hello, Michael.
Hello.
We're doing a little live on YouTube here.
Oh, hello all.
So just today we actually put up a new scrim.
wow.
We actually about a month ago we got that approved from our scenic designer. The scenic designer sent that out, and then just today during our work call we had the video person come out to redo the image on the front. So
Wow, so we have a brand new scrim on the front of
brand
the
new scrim.
Look at that. Things that I'm learning tonight too. Hello. Let's see here. How do you make the Javert jump into the river work? So here's a fun fact. We are actually not allowed to tell you how that works. Not that we've signed an NDA, but there's certain
the magic
magic.
alive.
Exactly. There's certain magic things that we're not allowed to talk about here on internet. But it is a very cool effect. And originally, back in the tour in 2017 through 2020, Javert's jump, he only went 6 feet in the air.
Yes.
And now he goes 12 feet in the air. That's incredible. So that's pretty cool. How much weight are you lifting as part of load in, load out, or do you have machinery to help you out?
It's a little bit of everything, but we also hire roughly, I think, 70 to 80 local crew to help us load in the set. I see it as my job to help guide them, so I make them do the heavy lifting while I run all the motors and to keep my eyes on what needs to be seen so we are safe for load-ins and load-outs.
So how does that work? Like, as far as, I know that there's an order that everything kind of goes in, right? Into the building and out of the building. Are you like the first thing that's laid down because the floor is to be put on top of, we travel our own stage, if you don't know. We travel our own deck. The deck goes on top of all of the elements as far as like all the automation stuff. So are you first in pretty much to get everything laid down in a load-in? I'm just putting my shirt on. Go ahead.
Lighting and rigging. Rigging being all the motors that go up.
Oh, right, okay.
To lift everything.
Okay.
So they're pretty much first, and then our flyman is also. So lighting and carpentry will work close together to get all the drops up in the air first.
Oh, right,
all the
yeah.
soft
Everything's
pieces.
just got to get up,
Yeah.
up there.
And then once those are all done, then we'll start loading in the sliders.
I see. Look at that.
The floor comes after dinner on the first day.
Okay, and what time are you usually in on a load-in day? Because so the way that it works for our show is Sunday. There's usually a 2-show day, and so Sunday night you guys spend what, 6.5, 7 hours? Sometimes less?
7 to 8 hours.
Loading out the set, putting it all on the trucks, which we have 11 semi tractor trailers that travel our set across the country. So you send that out, and then you guys, by the grace of God, get some sleep.
Yes, they normally give us a sleeper bus, so that sleeps 12 people. The bus driver will drive us to the next city.
Yeah.
We'll get in around 11 noon, and then we show up for work at 2 p.m. That day, work all the way up to about 10:45, 11 o'clock at night. And then we'll go home, get our sleep, and then be back on Tuesday at 8 a.m. and work all the way up until show.
It's crazy. Crews are the hardest working people out on the road, out on tours, and they just do not get the recognition that they deserve. So, thank you first for being on this. And
Yeah.
what I love to do is I love to give knowledge to folks out there that don't know how this works. So that's what I'm hoping to do. Let's see here. How often do things like that need to be replaced? Like the scrims, the drops? That sort of thing?
Not very often. that scrim was back from when they first put this out, so it
Wow.
just had a lot of wear and tear,
Yeah.
and it was just time to
Yeah.
finally replace that. So
There you go.
Not very often.
Not very often, but we are getting we're getting like a new stage floor right in July.
Yeah, so when we go on layoff, the set is going to a scenic shop, and they are going to redo the stage floor, stairs, and barricade pieces from what I hear.
There we go.
So new
So
stuff
when we
coming
come
your way.
back after our layoff, we have a month layoff in July. There will be some new set pieces that we get to play on, which is going to be fun. Everything always travel on trucks. How many trucks do you need? Thanks. So 11 tractor trailers.
11
yeah.
tractor trailers, yeah.
15 minutes. Have you how have you improvised if a truck has arrived late?
So
This has happened before.
this has happened a couple times to us. There are certain things that we can move around and try to accomplish. It just depends on which truck. So Palm Desert being one of them.
Yep.
We went on a week layoff. The truck decided somebody forgot to move it down to Palm Desert, and it had the towers on it. So with that, we couldn't do much with the show. So we had we ended up making it a work call to fix things that we did have in, and then
we had to cancel a show, so we had to add a show later on. So sometimes it happens. It's rare that it happens,
very rare.
though.
They mostly delayed, but like not too like a couple hours, so we can make that work.
Exactly. Let's see here. Wednesday afternoon. So Wednesday afternoon show 2 weeks ago, the mics were kind of bad on and off, and that sometimes happens. I think that and hopefully we're going to talk to our sound department here on one of these lives too. It is elements that are running through and down on the back, and they are battery operated, and sometimes batteries fail, or sometimes
You guys
stuff
sweat
happens.
a lot?
We sweat a lot. There are times where we sweat, and sweat will get into these little, and then they will short out. So it is a variable with live theater. But our sound crew, our sound is amazing, and they will do everything they can to make sure that we get back up and running as quickly as possible. I mean, there was one day last week where they ran in, and in between changes, I had to take all of my wig prep off, and they had to run a new wig mic line up and down my back because my mic wasn't working to what they thought was the best capacity. So there we go. What in your opinion is your favorite change that happens in the show?
My favorite change would be the out of ABC Cafe.
Out of ABC Cafe. It's so cool.
It's a busy effect. Everything's moving.
Yeah.
So the whole stage changes within seconds.
So I have, as far as like load out and load in, you're only responsible for your elements that you're bringing in and out of the building, correct?
Yes.
And do you ever assist any other departments to get their stuff in or out?
We'll always kind of hop in with each
Yeah.
other, and like if somebody's falling a little behind, it's like, oh,
All hands on deck.
Yeah. We try not to cross department lines too much, but we we're all one team, one dream.
I love that. One team, one dream. That's gonna go on a t-shirt, I think. Anything that you want the folks out there to know about working in like technical theater, or like what would you want folks to know out there? Sorry to put you on the spot. I didn't give him questions ahead of time. I'm just like, we're just gonna go on the fly. Here we go.
At this point, like, just go in with a kind attitude. People will remember that, and yes, to start, it is hard work at the beginning with the one-nighters and that. But now I've worked myself up to where I get to sit in a place for a week and get to relax a little bit when we're not doing rehearsals or put-ins.
Correct.
But it's a lot of hard work, but the payoff to go outside and hear people what they thought about the show is always fun to listen to the audience as you're walking through, because nobody knows who you are, so they kind of speak freely about it, and it's very fun to me to hear that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Another question here. We've only got time for a couple more before he's got to go and I got to go. How far ahead of time do you coordinate with local crews?
Our head carpenter will normally advance about 4 weeks out.
Okay. Saying what your needs are for each department.
Correct.
And what are your needs in the automation department? Do you have any local crew that work under you in that department?
So I'll take out of the carpenters, but my needs is like the power to run the system, and then it's normally 2 locals helping me run all the cable across the stage and under the stage.
And is that just for load in and load out, and there's nobody working underneath you during the show?
During the show, it's just me.
It's just him.
Yes.
It's just him.
In this city, I am off in a loading dock outside of the theater, but inside a building still. But I don't.
You are by yourself. When I went to go and find him, they're like, "Oh yeah, it's stage left. Just keep going. It's like go to the annex and then keep going." And I like walked in. I was like, "Hello." He's like, "I'm back here." Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there we go. I'm gonna say goodbye because I gotta finish getting ready, brush my teeth before the show starts tonight. He's got to go and make sure that we are ready to go for tonight. But Mitch, thank you so much for joining us live tonight. Like, I learned stuff. I hope that you learned stuff out there too. Yeah, this crew, they kill it every night. And 5 minutes. And there we go. I think that would be a great way to say goodbye, everybody. Thanks for tuning into live. We'll talk to you later. Bye.